Welcome to this audiobook-style summary of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the groundbreaking book by Robert Kiyosaki. In the next 40 minutes, we'll explore the most important lessons this book teaches about wealth, money, and mindset. This isn't just a summary of financial tips. It's a story about two fathers. One rich, one poor. Two different ways of thinking about money, and how those mindsets shaped Robert's future. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding of the principles that separate the wealthy from the struggling, and how you can apply them in your own life. So, let's begin. Small Blue Diamond Chapter 1, The Two Fathers. Robert grew up with two father figures. His biological father, whom he calls his poor dad, was highly educated, hardworking, and had a secure government job. He believed in studying hard, getting good grades, and finding a safe career. On the other side, Robert's best friend's father, his rich dad, was a successful entrepreneur who didn't have a college degree. He believed in financial education, smart investing, and building businesses. Two men. Two philosophies. One said, go to school, get a job, and work for money. The other said, learn how money works, and make money work for you. This contrast shaped Robert's entire perspective on wealth. Small Blue Diamond Chapter 2, The Lesson of Assets and Liabilities. One of the most powerful lessons in Rich Dad, Poor Dad is the difference between assets and liabilities. Poor Dad thought owning a house was an asset. Rich Dad disagreed. He explained, an asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. That simple definition changes everything. For example, a rental property that earns you monthly cash flow? That's an asset. A brand new car that loses value and requires endless expenses? That's a liability. Wealthy people focus on building assets, things that generate income even while they sleep. The poor and middle class, often buy liabilities, thinking they're assets. Small Blue Diamond Chapter 3, The Importance of Financial Education. Schools teach us how to solve math equations and memorize history dates. But they rarely teach us how money works. Rich Dad believed that financial education is the true foundation of wealth. Understanding taxes, investing, debt, and cash flow is more valuable than memorizing formulas. Robert realized early on that the world is filled with educated people, but many still struggle financially. Because intelligence alone isn't enough. It's financial literacy that creates freedom. And that's why this book exists, to give us the education schools never did. Small Blue Diamond Chapter 4, Work to Learn, Not to Earn. Poor Dad told Robert to study hard so he could get a stable job. Rich Dad said something very different, don't work for money. Work to learn. When Robert worked for Rich Dad, he didn't get paid much. Instead, he learned about accounting, investing, sales, and leadership. These skills became priceless in the future. The wealthy understand that a job is temporary, but skills last a lifetime. Once you develop financial and business skills, money follows naturally. So, instead of asking, how much will this job pay me? Ask, what will this job teach me? Small Blue Diamond Chapter 5, The Power of Entrepreneurship. Another key theme in Rich Dad, Poor Dad is entrepreneurship. Poor Dad valued job security. Rich Dad valued independence. Starting a business is risky, yes. But so is depending on one employer for your livelihood. Rich Dad believed that true financial freedom comes from owning businesses and investments, not just working for someone else's dream. Entrepreneurship forces you to grow. You learn problem solving, leadership, resilience, and how to spot opportunities. Even if you fail, the lessons push you closer to success. The poor see risk as something to avoid. The rich see risk as something to manage. Small Blue Diamond Chapter 6, The Mindset of Money. Both fathers had completely different mindsets about money. Poor Dad would say things like, I can't afford it. Rich Dad would say, "How can I afford it?" One statement closes the door. The other opens possibilities. This simple shift, from limitation to creativity, is the core of wealth building. Rich Dad taught Robert that your thoughts shape your financial destiny. Scarcity thinking keeps you stuck. Abundance thinking pushes you to find solutions. Wealth begins in the mind, long before it shows up in your bank account. Small Blue Diamond Chapter 7, Taxes and the Game of Money. Another critical lesson: the rich play the money game differently. Poor Dad paid taxes first and lived on what was left. Rich Dad built businesses and investments that allowed him to legally minimize taxes. Robert learned that the tax system often favors business owners and investors. Why? Because they create jobs and stimulate the economy. It's not about cheating the system. It's about understanding the rules of the game. If you don't know the rules, you'll always lose to those who do. Small Blue Diamond Chapter 8, Learning Through Taking Action. Rich Dad always pushed Robert to take action, not just sit and think. Many people read books, attend seminars, and dream of wealth, but never take the first step. The rich understand that mistakes are part of the process. Every failure is a lesson. Robert once said, "The difference between the poor and the rich is how they manage fear." The poor let fear of failure stop them. The rich use failure as feedback. Small Blue Diamond Chapter 9, Building Wealth is a Journey. One of the final lessons of Rich Dad Poor Dad is that wealth isn't built overnight. It's a lifelong journey of learning, investing, and growing. True wealth isn't just money. It's freedom, the ability to choose how you spend your time. Poor Dad wanted Robert to climb the ladder. Rich Dad taught him to own the ladder. And that's the ultimate difference between financial struggle and financial independence. Conclusion. So, what can we learn from Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad? 1. Wealth is a mindset, not just a paycheck. 2. Assets build wealth, liabilities drain it. 3. Financial education matters more than formal education. 4. Work to learn skills, not just to earn wages. 5. Entrepreneurship and investing create freedom. 6. Your words shape your financial destiny. 7. The rich play the money game by knowing the rules. These lessons are timeless. Whether you're just starting your financial journey, or looking to take your wealth to the next level, the principles of Rich Dad Poor Dad will guide you. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this audiobook-style summary, be sure to subscribe for more life-changing lessons from the world's best books.